Hey everyone, welcome to probably the best episode of DevTips you've ever seen in your whole entire lifetime. Right now, I'm with somebody that I've been just chatting with for the past half hour, and we've had a few emails and tweets together, but this is really the first time that I'm sitting down with and meeting Mackenzie Child. Say hello, Mckenzie.
How's it going, everyone?
All right, I'm so excited that you're here. How did we get in touch in the first place? Did I contact you?
Someone tagged both of us on Twitter.
Yes. All right, Mckenzie, you're over there in Colorado in the snowy capped mountains, and you were not originally from there, right? Or did you move there when you were a kid?
Yeah, I moved here when I was 3 from California.
Nice. And how long have you been designing professionally?
I got into design when I was about 15, and have been doing it, or I've gotten into the web more recently when I was about 20, and I'm about to turn 24, so
Okay.
about a decade.
Nice. That's a long time, man. It just like slips right past us.
It really does.
Did you go to school for that, or did you self-taught mostly, or what's your kind of story?
So I got into design when I was 15, like I said. A friend put Photoshop on my computer, and then about 3 weeks later, I put an ad on Craigslist for my awesome new graphic design skills.
So what was the first project you did off of those Craigslist ads?
So I had a lady who owned a interior design company. She contacted me and wanted a logo done and a flyer and a advertisement done.
Mm-hmm. How did that go over?
So I immediately started on those. I spent like 3 weeks and I was super excited, and I showed it to her, and then I emailed her, and then I called her, and I never heard back. So
did she use the stuff, or did she decide that you weren't as good as she thought you might be? Or
I'm guessing so, which is completely understandable because I looked back on that project last year sometime, and it was awful.
I love
so bad.
I'm so sad because a lot of the early weird stuff I did when I was young, I lost in
Oh no.
yeah, like I didn't like really understand how computers worked, and so like we got a new computer and threw the old one away with all my work on it, and that's kind of it.
That's a bummer.
So like the memory I have of the work was awesome, and I've never even designed anything as cool since. So it's pretty sad, but that's just memories. Maybe they're actually pretty horrible. So do you remember the lady of this? Do you remember the name of the interior decorator? You want to put her on blast on YouTube?
I do not.
No. So what was your first like job then? Like how did you crack that nut? Going from like just posting on Craigslist to actually being a worker in the web industry.
Well, I actually did go to school for graphic design. I went to the Art Institute of Colorado and got a associate's in, I think it's like Applied Science of Graphic Design or something like that. Some very long,
sounds fancy,
needed name. But after that, I graduated, and then 2 weeks later, I got a job at a company called Superflow, and they did dynamometers and flow benches, which is just like engine and chassis testing. They like fine tune everything for like race cars and all that good stuff.
Interesting.
That was actually a really fun job because I got to do pretty much had full control over their branding. It was all print work, but I really enjoyed that.
That's awesome. So then how did the coding come into it if you were doing print work from the beginning?
So the coding came out of just a need because I would pass off I would spend several weeks crafting a pixel perfect, beautiful design for the new website. And I'd pass it off to the developer, and then I would get back the version or the first and second and third draft, and just everything was slightly off. Most people probably wouldn't notice, but it just drove me to want to be able to have full control over the design and how that translated into the web.
That's exactly my story. That's the whole thing. Like I have been like so frustrated so many times by not having the skill to breathe life into the designs, like the drawings that you make. And being able to have that skill gives you so much freedom. And that's actually the original name of this YouTube channel, and still the URL of it is DevTips for Designers. It was intended to help people like you, people like me, to take our designs and give them life. But it turns out it's just DevTips. but yeah, that was the intent. Like that's like totally my like story as well. That's really awesome. I love when you like kind of jive with someone. Sorry if I'm nerding out, but so tell me what you're doing on YouTube. You have a YouTube channel. It's appropriately named Mackenzie Child Design, spelt with a Z, and you're doing a 12 in 12 challenge. You want to tell me about that?
Yeah. So the past few years, I've been dabbling with the backend framework, Ruby on Rails. I really have several projects I've been wanting to build, but I never actually. The 12 and 12 challenge was really a kick in the ass to get myself to finally learn Rails.
Right.
Like I said, I dabbled with it before, but every time I'd get stuck, I would just like find something else more interesting, or just honestly move on to something else easier to learn.
So where did the idea come from? Like how did that all gel into a YouTube channel instead of just like, I want to learn coding?
So obviously I wanted to learn Rails. I read an article, I think like 3 weeks before I started the challenge, that said you learn better by teaching, or you learn better when you're expected to teach. So the whole idea was to build a web app using Rails, and then I would teach how exactly I built that web app, and then make screencasts of it and put it on YouTube.
So you build the projects before you start filming?
So that's honestly why I learned so much while I was doing this. So I would start out, I built the web app. Well, I would struggle to build the web app with all the features that I wanted to have in it. And then I would build it again. And this is all in 1 week span. So I'd build it, then I'd build it again. And the second time I would take like detailed notes, just so when I did record the screencast, I didn't look like a complete fool. And then the third time I would build it and record the screencast, and then obviously edit it, and I threw it up on YouTube.
Right. So by the time we're watching you, this is the third time you're going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I should take some notes from you, man. I'm like, I am messing my way through the stuff that I'm doing on this channel, and I'm like, my audience is always like, why did you do that? Like, doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's just do this. It's
Well,
definitely probably a better style and a better watching experience for your audience.
Well, I think week 7, I was like, screw it. I don't have time, and I'm too exhausted to do it that many times. So I just went, I think it was week 7. I just went straight through once. It ended up being close to like 2 hours long, and it was pretty bad.
Yes, that's true. Wait, so you're saying on the 7th week you recorded the first time? Like you didn't do it any of the two?
Nope. I just I did the design and the coding on the fly. So any errors or anything, I just figured it out as I went.
Week 7. Let me look and see which video that is.
I feel like it was 7 or 8 or something.
Is it job boards?
It might have been.
That's awesome.
Let me look it up.
So you've got a lot of. I'm just going to read a few of the things the projects that you've done here. There's a lot of cool stuff. How to build a Reddit or a Hacker News style site. How to build a blog in Rails. A recipe box. A Pinterest clone. A movie review app. To-do apps. Job boards. Workout log. Wikipedia clones, forums, notebooks, and like a dribble type app in Rails. These are all Rails apps. That's a pretty big list of things that you did, and this took only 3 months to do.
Yes, honestly, I wish I did a 4 and 4 challenge, because this was incredibly hard.
I I know exactly what you mean. Like when you start out a new project and you like overcommit yourself.
Yeah.
I'm the champion of overcommitment. My wife is always like, that's why you don't ever sleep, dude, because like you're always tired because you always like have this thing that you're doing. And I'm like, no, I don't overcommit. I just but you should listen to my new podcast. What would you say is like the biggest thing that you personally have gotten out of these 12 weeks?
Oh man. Well, first off, I realized that I can do a lot more than I thought I could.
That's
like
a good
I
lesson,
wanted
man.
to quit so many times. I told my wife many times, I'm like, screw it, I can't do this. There's way too much work. But she's like, nope, you have to do it. I was like, fine.
That's awesome.
But I learned it's pretty cool because like the 5th week, I finally felt pretty comfortable with making a Rails application. Obviously, there's still a ton I need to learn.
Have you ever made one before these 12 weeks?
I would say 1 or 2, but it was like step by step following the tutorial. And then like once the tutorial was done, I was like, cool, I have this, but I don't know how I did it.
Right. So I'm interested. I don't know Rails myself. I've worked at companies that use Rails, and I've worked inside of Rails apps, but I've never like administered one myself. What is the process of creating one of these projects and like deciding on what it is one step of the project, but like what are the steps to make it work? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, the first few applications I picked those purely based on the fact that I could find tutorials to guide me along. But the later ones, like the workout log and the notebook were just my ideas. So I'd start out, I would first figure out what I want to do, and then I would model out the data. So basically, like, pretty much figure out all the features I wanted in the application, like users, and then I think the workout log had workouts, and then for each workout, you have like a number of sets, a number of reps. So you just model all that out, and then that is how you go about building the application. And then I know from the company I work for, they do a lot of user stories.
Yeah.
So basically, like, as a user, I want to be able to do X because X, and that's something I've definitely used along the way.
Did you like sketch things out or wireframe or like? You said you did user stories, like
the design as little as possible.
Yeah.
Purely because I'm a designer, obviously, and I know I would have spent hours and hours focusing on the wrong things. So I use Bootstrap for some of them, and then like the notebook application, I did spend a bit of time on the design on that, just because. Actually, we just launched the redesign at my job, and I was feeling pretty pumped. So
yeah,
I went ahead and spent a bit more time on that design. Other than that, it's just pretty terrible Bootstrap applications.
Cool. So you've made 12 awesome projects in 12 weeks. What has the response been so far?
I've had a ton of people reach out and just say how much it's helping them, which is super encouraging.
Yeah.
But I think that's purely based on the fact that I'm building full web applications and not charging for it.
Right.
Which is something not found on the web
right.
very often. A lot of people have just been saying how much it's helped them, and then obviously a lot of people want me to, or I've noticed a lot of people want me to like build their application for them.
Yes.
But there are a lot of people who have encouraged me to keep going, and that was a big help for like week 7 and 8 or even week 4 when I wanted to quit very badly.
You know what my favorite thing about your channel is? Your face. You have like this like really like something. There's something going on there. It's like encouraging or something. I'm looking at all your thumbnails right now. There's like a yeah, buddy kind of like feel to it. I don't know if I'm getting that right, but like Like it's like super friendly, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like it's super nice and friendly, and like your voice is super soft. Oh, one thing I did know about your videos, or at least the few that I've watched completely through,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that I've watched, you do one take.
Yep.
What? How do you do one take? We've been talking here for 20 minutes and everybody's going to see 4 minutes of this. Like like there's no way. I am such a mess all the time. How do you do this? How are you such a natural?
Oh, I would not say that. It's just me repeating it over and over. I probably sit in my room for like half an hour recording the intros and outros until I
Oh,
get
so you do
something that,
multiple takes but you don't
yes.
you don't cut them together. You just like, okay, that makes sense.
For future videos, I won't do that. But this 12 and 12, um, honestly, I'm not really sure why I did everything in one take.
It's good. Like you don't see that a lot on YouTube. We rely on jump cuts a lot. The other thing I noticed about your videos was the music.
Mm-hmm.
So did you produce that yourself? It seemed like really timed and interesting.
I lucked out because my brother is a music producer.
Got it. Right. I was
Yes.
like, this has to be custom because it's like the way it like crescendos right as you're ending your point and stuff. Like almost every time, it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that on purpose? Like, do you have like different splices and loops that you're putting together and building for the impact?
No, he gave me it's like a 5 minute clip, and then about 45 seconds to the end, it drops and then like builds up. So I just use that for once I'm done talking.
Right. Usually, okay, cool. I'm learning a lot
Yeah.
from you, man. You did a really good job, especially for like, I don't know, considering it's only 12 videos and this is your first, like I've done like nearly 100 videos now. And like, I'm like, oh, this guy, he knows what he's doing.
Well, thank you.
Oh, okay. So, let me ask you this question. Of all the 12 videos you've done so far, what is the most cringeworthy or like what like when you watch them you're like, "Oh, why did I do that?" Do you have any of those? I have tons of them.
Oh, yeah. I was listening to, I think, the movie review app,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just like smacking my lips like constantly throughout the screencast. I actually think I do that in a few of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
So,
And I realized I say alrighty and so constantly.
alrighty.
Yes.
You know, I have a few of those that one of them that I realize I say, the first thing we're gonna do is, and even if it's like the fifth thing that we're doing, I'm like, all right, so the first thing we're gonna do, and it's like we've been working for like a half an hour already. Let me ask you just a few more questions about what you're doing. I'm just really interested in like your process and like your whole kind of like philosophy is like. So you've built these 12 things. What are you going to do with them now? Are they just kind of like just for experience, or are you going to leverage anything and kind of build out an app any further?
Well, I do want to. These 12 were just for experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I do plan on spending the next like 3 or 4 weeks actually writing out the text for the tutorials. Because a lot of people have asked for like subtitles and stuff. So I'm going to go through and add like images and write blog posts for each of them. So that should be a big help. But beyond that, there's just a bunch of projects I want to, or I guess startups I want to launch. And the whole point of this was to be able to, at some point in the future, build out projects of my own.
Yeah, it gives you legs to stand on.
Yes.
Like mobilizes you.
And
So so you're going to take a hiatus then, because you've done this for 12 weeks in a row without missing a beat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to take a hiatus and like kind of transcribe things. Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, yes. Right now, I'm redesigning my website to allow for the videos and the articles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably only going to take like 2 weeks off.
Okay.
So this week and next week. But I really do enjoy making these videos. So I don't know if it's possible, but next year I'm going to try to do 2 videos a week. Obviously not
Whoa!
1 hour videos, but I'm going to try to do like 15 to 30 minute ones.
Yes.
The goal is to do one video, like say on Monday for development, either front end or back end, and then on Wednesday or Thursday do a design related video.
Dude, that's cool. I'm like kind of jealous. There's no way I could do 2 videos, but I really want to. Some people ask for more. I remember one comment I got. It was like, I got a great idea. Why don't you do 2 videos a week? I was like, that's a great idea.
It is a ton of work.
It's such a ton of work. So I totally like, I don't know, maybe everybody who's watching this video thinks that I'm like kind of like hamming it up right now, but I'm totally geeking out on this. This is like, I don't know, I'm like super impressed with what you do. It's like, I guess everybody that I've had on the show up until now has been like more mature in terms of like, they've been doing this YouTube thing a lot longer. They have a lot more experience with like building things online and stuff. And so I'm like, oh yeah, interesting. I'm like learning, but like here I'm like just like so excited because you just have like all this like raw like energy and like awesome content, and it's just like there's no pretense. It's just really cool. I don't know. Sorry. Anyway, that's kind of like what I wanted to get down to. I just wanted to find out like what your whole plan is with this 12 and 12. Are you going to be doing things like this in the future, like longer series like this where you challenge yourself like that, or are you going to be doing things more like in a bite-sized tutorial? You said you'd make them shorter. What does that mean?
Yeah, there's no way I could keep up with doing a full web app each week without getting burnt out or killing myself. So I'm not even going to try that. The plan is to do shorter, like more specific videos, like how to implement search in your Rails app, or how to, like on the design side, how to wireframe, or just random stuff like that. But I'm a big advocate of designers being able to both both design and then code the front end and the back end. Great.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because one of the things I wanted to get to before we close was like, what is your advice to the young designer or developer who's like trying to find their way, trying to find like their voice? How would you advise them to proceed?
Well, one would be learn how to design and code. That will be very handy in the future. 2 is make as many freaking side projects as you can possibly do.
Would you advise to do 12 in 12 weeks?
Yes. I keep telling everyone, I was like, everyone who asked me like, what's the best way to go about learning? I was like, how about you build 12 web apps in 12 weeks? You'll learn a ton. Like,
how do they ask you? Are they emailing you, or is this on Twitter?
Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of emails, a bunch on Twitter and YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Just curious. I actually started a little like chat, Slack, using Slack.
Oh, okay. So it's like a public Slack room?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we've got like 8 people on there, but most of the time it's just me sitting alone in the room. So I'm not sure that's going anywhere. At some point I want to build an actual forum, like a little community for designers and developers.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think that there's a great opportunity for that, especially for people who are like interested in coding and designing through video and watching those YouTubes. I think the people who watch the content that we produce are a unique brand of designer and coder. So I think like a place where they could thrive would be really nice. I've been thinking about that. Anyway, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, for joining us. I really hope everybody who watches DevTips on the reg will go check out Mackenzie's YouTube channel. He has 12 excellent videos, like 14 hours or more of content free, building complete applications in Rails. They're really good. He does a great job of presenting. As you can tell, he's a very charming and charismatic person and fun to be around. So that's it. Mackenzie, would you please say keep on hacking?
Keep on hacking.
All right, we're done. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. I feel like I'm looking up and down. That was really a hard thing to do, or to not do.
Oh, because you kept on looking at the Skype thing, or
yeah,
whatever.
I was trying so hard not to, but if you're editing the video and you see me